The Forrester mansion had never been silent when emotions ran high, and today was no exception. The air in the room crackled with tension as Donna Logan and Taylor Hayes stood face to face, their voices sharp, their words edged with years of buried resentment and conflicting loyalties. The subject wasn't just love, it was Brooke Logan. Again. And this time, it was about more than choosing a man. It was about her future, her identity, her freedom. Donna, loyal to her sister to the bitter end, stood firm. Brooke has the right to decide for herself. She always has. She doesn't need your judgment, Taylor. She doesn't need anyone telling her who she's allowed to love. Her tone wasn't gentle anymore. This wasn't about family unity. This was war. Taylor, composed but firm, didn't flinch. This isn't judgment. It's reality. Brooke keeps making the same choices over and over again, and look where it's gotten her. Heartbreak. Scandal. Pain. Do you think that's love? Ridge doesn't change. He chooses her when it's convenient. Then when things fall apart, he turns to someone else. Usually me. The name Nick wasn't spoken yet, but it hovered between them like a phantom. Everyone in the room, especially Brooke, knew that it wouldn't stay unspoken for long. Because this wasn't just about Ridge anymore. It was about all the men, all the patterns, all the wreckage Brooke had left behind in her pursuit of what she once called true love. And Brooke, standing just a few feet away, heard every word. Silent. Still. Her eyes locked on nothing and everything at once. She didn't interrupt. She let it all come at her, the accusations, the defenses, the memories she'd spent years trying to forget. Donna's unwavering support was comforting, but it wasn't enough to drown out the echo of Taylor's truth. Then Taylor said it. What about Nick Marone? Remember how that started? Do you think Ridge ever really forgave you for that? You slept with his daughter's husband. You married him. And now you want Ridge to believe this time will be different. The room froze. Donna opened her mouth to protest, but the damage was done. Brooke's heart was already halfway out the door. The scandal with Nick wasn't something she could rewrite. It wasn't some moment of weakness she could blame on circumstance. It was a decision. A fire she walked into willingly, thinking love would be worth the burns. And Ridge, who had quietly entered the room minutes earlier, now stood behind them, arms crossed, watching, listening, feeling every line of dialogue like a blade against his pride. So this is what it's come to, he said finally, stepping into view. Judgment. Interrogation. From people I've known my entire life. Taylor turned to him, her face unreadable. It's not judgment, Ridge. It's the truth. And maybe if you faced it, if Brooke faced it, you'd stop repeating the same story and expecting a different ending. Brooke looked up. Her voice was quiet, but it cut through the room. Stop. All eyes turned to her. I've made mistakes. I've hurt people. I've betrayed trust. But I never lied about what I felt. I never lied about love. Not to Ridge, not to Nick, not to anyone. Donna moved closer, a hand on Brooke's arm, but Brooke stepped forward, toward the center of the room, toward the heat, toward the history. You think I don't know what people say about me? That I'm some desperate woman who bounces between men looking for validation? You think I don't hear the whispers? The names? Slut from the valley. Like I haven't carried that since I was 20 years old. Like I don't wake up every morning wondering if maybe this time I can be someone different. Someone better. Ridge's expression softened. Taylor looked down. Donna squeezed Brooke's hand. But this isn't about history. This is about now. Brooke turned to Ridge. We've been dancing around this for too long. One moment we're in love, the next we're broken. You walk away. I fall apart. Then you come back and I let you in. Again and again. Because I tell myself it's destiny. That we're meant to be. Her voice broke slightly. But what if destiny is just a story we tell ourselves to avoid facing the truth? That some people love each other but aren't good together. That love doesn't fix what keeps breaking. Ridge moved toward her. You don't believe that. I didn't, she whispered. But I might now. Taylor watched them both, her expression unreadable. Donna turned away, hiding the tears in her eyes. Brooke looked at the man she had loved for decades, through marriages, divorces, betrayals, reconciliations. The father of her children's siblings. The man who knew her better than anyone but still always questioned her heart. You made me believe I was the one. But I was just one of many. And maybe that's on me. Maybe I let that happen. But I can't live like this anymore, Ridge. I don't want to spend the rest of my life begging someone to believe I've changed. I have changed. I'm not that woman anymore. I don't want to be. There was a silence, so thick it felt like the walls might shatter from the pressure. So what are you saying? Ridge asked. I'm saying. Brooke hesitated. Then her shoulders straightened. I'm setting myself free. Taylor blinked, surprised. I'm not doing this again. I'm not fighting for you. I'm not defending myself. I'm not trying to prove I deserve you. I'm letting go. Donna stepped forward. Brooke, are you sure? I'm sure. Ridge looked stunned. For once, he didn't have a comeback. No smooth words. No passionate declarations. Just silence. Because deep down, he knew this wasn't a threat. It wasn't a test. It was real. Brooke turned to Taylor. You win, she said softly. But it doesn't feel like a victory, does it? Taylor had no answer. And just like that, Brooke walked out. Not out of anger. Not in drama. But with quiet resolve. A woman who had finally made peace with her past and chosen herself over a fantasy. Later that evening, Ridge stood alone in the living room, staring at a photograph of him and Brooke in happier times. Donna sat outside on the patio, tears streaming down her face as she called Hope, her voice shaking. Taylor remained in the guest house, her thoughts tangled between triumph and guilt. And Brooke? Brooke walked along the beach. Alone. Barefoot. No phone. No plan. Just the sound of the ocean and the unfamiliar sensation of finally being unbound. She had loved deeply, fought passionately, fallen hard. But now, for the first time, she wasn't looking for a man to save her. She was saving herself. And in the City of Angels, that kind of rebirth might be the most beautiful thing of all. In the ever-twisting corridors of love, loyalty, and legacy that make up the bold and the beautiful, few crossroads have been more agonizing than the one Ridge Forrester now finds himself standing at. Brooke Logan, the woman whose name is eternally entwined with his, no longer whispers of destiny and second chances. She no longer waits by the phone. She no longer plays the part of the woman hoping Ridge will choose her again. She's done hoping. And she's done waiting. The choice now belongs to Ridge, but the clock is ticking fast. Brooke is prepared to walk away, not just from him, but from everything they've ever been unless Ridge proves once and for all that she is the only future he wants. She laid it out clearly. Either Ridge publicly, decisively, and unapologetically ends his engagement to Taylor Hayes, or she leaves for Italy with Nick Marone and never looks back. This time, there are no games, no gray areas, no half measures. Ridge either reclaims Brooke as the love of his life, or she will start a new chapter where he plays no part. And Brooke means it. Every word. Ridge is stunned. Paralyzed. The woman who has always been his anchor, his temptation, his undoing, has flipped the narrative. No more clandestine meetings. No more longing stares across crowded rooms. Brooke is demanding clarity, finality. It's Ridge's move now, and she won't wait another moment. She has a ticket to Italy. Nick is waiting. A future without Ridge is waiting. Eric Forrester doesn't sugarcoat the situation either. He watches his son spinning in confusion, grasping at both women like lifelines, and he finally says what everyone else is too afraid to. If you don't make a decision now, Ridge, you're going to lose Brooke. For good. And you won't get another chance. The weight of those words settles heavily in the room. Ridge knows his father isn't speaking out of bias. He's seen this cycle play out too many times. Ridge. Brooke. Taylor. The triangle that has consumed decades. The emotions, the betrayals, the affairs, the reconciliations, it's all left scars. Deep ones. And now Brooke is finally closing the door. Unless Ridge opens it himself. But here's the problem. Ridge is still wearing Taylor's ring. That promise, however conflicted, still hangs over him. The engagement to Taylor wasn't meaningless. It was born from a place of stability, from shared history, from family. From a desire to escape the chaos of the past. Taylor was supposed to be the safe choice, the right choice, the choice that didn't come with fire and ruin. But even as he wears her ring, even as he thinks about their life, his heart tugs in another direction. Brooke. He remembers everything. The first time. The reunions. The heartbreaks. The passion. The children. The forgiveness. The impossible connection that neither time nor distance nor infidelity ever truly severed. He thought he had made peace with letting go. But he hadn't. He just delayed the inevitable. Because she's still in his veins, and now she's forcing him to choose. Publicly. Loudly. Completely. At Forrester Creations, the tension spills over. Hope tries to remain neutral, but it's clear that she supports her mother's choice to stop living in Ridge's shadow. Donna backs Brooke all the way. Katie offers cautious support, warning Brooke that Ridge has failed to choose her too many times before. And while Taylor maintains a calm exterior, her eyes betray a simmering dread. She can feel the walls closing in. She's been here before. She knows how this ends. And Nick? Nick Marone has been patient, respectful, but he's also clear. If Brooke chooses to come with him, he wants all of her. No emotional residue. No looking back. He's ready to build something real. Something stable. Something that doesn't require forgiving betrayal every few years. He asks Brooke to be sure. To make this decision for herself, not to escape pain, but to run toward a future she truly wants. Brooke spends one final night at the beach house alone. She walks barefoot along the sand, looking at the waves, remembering all the moments that brought her here. Every kiss. Every goodbye. Every tear. She's loved Ridge more than any man she's ever known. But love, she's come to realize, isn't enough if it only takes, if it never protects, never chooses, never shows up. The next morning, Ridge wakes up before the sun. He's still wearing the ring. Taylor calls. She knows. She tells him gently that if he's hesitating, that's his answer. I won't be your second choice, she says. Not again. Not ever. Ridge drives to Eric's. He walks in silent, hollow-eyed. Eric waits in the living room, arms folded. Ridge says nothing at first. Then he takes off the ring, puts it on the table, looks at his father and says, I have to go to the airport. Meanwhile, at LAX, Brooke stands with Nick. Her bags are checked. She's waiting at the gate. Her phone buzzes. She looks at it. It's Ridge. She doesn't answer. The overhead speakers announce final boarding. Nick looks at her. Is he coming? Brooke doesn't answer at first. Then she says, I don't know. But she doesn't move. Not yet. Not until she's sure. And then Ridge runs into the terminal. He sees her. She sees him. Everyone else disappears. He walks straight up to her. Breathless. Shaken. His voice slow. I called off the engagement. I'm not going back. I'm not choosing her. I'm not choosing safety. I'm choosing you. For real. For the last time. If you still want me. Brooke stares at him. Everything she wanted to hear is right there. And yet something inside her doesn't move. Because hearing it isn't the same as believing it. You're late, she says. I know. You're always late. Not this time. She looks at Nick. Then back at Ridge. Then down at her boarding pass. Finally, she says, prove it. Ridge nods. He takes her hand. Turns to the crowd behind them. And with no script, no ring, no plan, he says it loud enough for the terminal to hear. This is the woman I love. Brooke Logan. I've loved her since the day I met her. And if she'll still have me, I want to spend the rest of my life making up for every time I failed to choose her. Today, I choose her. In public. In front of anyone who wants to hear it. I'm done hiding. I'm done doubting. Brooke, come home with me. Silence. Then applause. From strangers. Brooke stares at him. And finally, something in her softens. She walks past him. Past Nick. And out of the airport. Ridge follows. Because this time, she's not running. And this time, he's not hesitating. Back at Forrester, Taylor receives the news in silence. She lets the tears fall alone. She knew it. She always knew it. But this time, she won't break. Nick boards the plane. Alone. And in Los Angeles, Brooke and Ridge walk into the sunset. For now. For real. For the last time, maybe. But in this city of endless second chances, even the most final decisions always leave the door slightly ajar. Because love in this world never dies. It just waits.